Good afternoon, Namibia and the world, and welcome to our Wednesday edition here at the Government Information Center. I am your host for the afternoon, and my name is Desire Kahiha. Today, we are looking at the standard operating procedures for the MTC Innovation Center, which was newly launched on the 13th of October. And in studio, I have Mr. Nawa Likando, who is the head of digital strategy, transformation and innovation at the mobile telecommunication company that is MTC. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Desire.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for bringing this innovation to us, and we are here to help you spread the word.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
And we kick it off very simply. We want to find out MTC Innovation Center. Where was the idea for the center birthed? How long did it take for it to come into realization? And what is the purpose of the center?
Okay, so if I can just give a little bit of background. So with MTC's new strategic ambition and vision to be the driver of the digital economy, we looked at various avenues that we could start to spark innovation within the country to drive the adoption of technological advancements and technological tools. And that is really the basis of what informed our decision to create an innovation center to really open it up to the general public and also various industry partners to innovate and start creating solutions for the benefit of our economy. We launched it on the 13th of October, officially at the HTTPS at NUST. Previously, we did have an innovation center at Marua Mall. However, with our direction towards really in trying to inculcate innovation and partner up with research and development entities such as your academic institutions, that was just the right and opportune time and the right moment for us to now also really take a different approach and then launch it within the NUST HTTPS initiative. Yeah.
But now, what is the purpose of an innovation center?
Okay. So currently, one of the main things is that each and every institution, whether in industry, academia, startup ecosystems as well, there's a need to start driving innovation. But we realize that it's quite difficult if we have a siloed approach, everyone doing their own thing. So we decided to have a centralized or central location or central entity where we start to really reach out to various partners to start utilizing the various tools and technologies. And from MTC's perspective, really, this is where we then realize that we have technological strengths. Yeah. We have technical partners, we have relationships out there, and also we have the different resources to try to fuel innovation. And that is where we decided, like, let's create an ecosystem where industry partners, where your general public as well can start having a ecosystem where they can create technological products, where they can experience technological products in line with the advancement within the country geared towards the fourth industrial revolution. So really we're exposing a hotbed, a test bed, a prototyping bed, a sandbox where our innovators can actually start having a space where they are free to create different technologies, free to create different initiatives, and also partner up with the academic institution and various industry players. Okay. So it's quite key for our ecosystem at this moment.
Okay. You earlier on alluded to the fact that you had initially had a center at Marua Mall.
Yes.
Now, obviously, you've moved to the HTTPS at NUST. So I'm assuming, and maybe you can help me here, that your capacity has changed. And this is where I would now want to know, how many more people are you now able to accommodate? What is the capacity of the center?
So in terms of capacity, and I think we have to look at it from both virtual and physical. Physical, we're able to accommodate up to close to around about 60.
Okay.
But that also depends on the initiatives that are happening within the center.
Okay.
Ideally, smaller groups are ideal to really have the best experience within the center. But the virtual perspective of this is that we're able to reach each and every corner of the country through obviously the various technologies that are within the center and also the various capabilities around the HTTPS to really spread, if I can say, the wings of the center to various corners of the of our nation. Yeah.
Okay, okay. You spoke about the two forms, you know, virtual and physical. And this is now where we would then want to go a bit more into details with regards to that. What are the services that are offered at the center? To whom and what are the operating days and hours?
Okay, so from a service specific point of view, we have availed the space to allow for prototyping, right? Technology prototyping. There's also an element of experience as well for various members of the public to have a feel of what does technology mean, or what does this product mean to me? How does it look like? How does it feel? What is its applicability in my context, for example? We also have an element of also just a space where various entities can also host events. Various entities can make use of the technologies in play. I think we are accommodating technologies in the space of cybersecurity. We're accommodating technologies in the space of gaming. We have gaming pods there. We're accommodating technologies in the space of smart home initiatives. In fact, we have an entire home set up in there as well for various innovators to come up with technologies that actually will drive smart home technologies. And really, those are the main activities and services within there. Lastly, also, we have Internet of Things, which drives towards smart cities. So there are sensors and all of these different elements that various innovators, various industry players can come in and really have a look and feel and start to play around with these tools and techniques and create solutions that are really geared towards them meeting their mandate, or really towards creating solutions that will benefit the nation at large. So really we appeal to a wide variety of use cases, a wide variety of industry players across sectors. Tourism, we accommodated. Security, we accommodated. The general startup community, we accommodate them as well, and also just general whatever industry players have synergies and feel like, no, we can really collaborate on different initiatives. But those are the different services we provide.
You spoke about making the center very much available to the public and not only to specific, you know, requesting groups, where you want to open up the world of technology to the Namibian nation. Now, with the familiarity that I have with NUST specifically, and especially where the center is, because I've been around there, especially before and after the launch, I was actually around the area, and I want to find out now, how are we making the center accessible to the public on the basis of where it is housed? Because you've got the whole security setup when you're entering. You have to have some form of, you know, registrations that coming in. Are we not afraid that maybe this might deter people from coming in?
Not necessarily. What we've been very deliberate to do is to also create a website which also sheds visibility into the activities and also in terms of how do we engage. So we have opened up channels of communication through. We actually also launched our mobile home on the ground floor. So we have our mobile home as well. We have also our website where various members of the public can actually access, and they're then able to, through the different forms available, really send through and contact us and mention that I have this specific idea, or I want to view the innovation center. So we really opened up those channels, and we were very clear to say that it's an inclusive environment. It's not just limited to MTC or to NUS specifically, but it's open to the entire general public, obviously upon the basis that we do go through the appropriate channels, be it the website, through our mobile home, and all those different channels available. And from that we then contact the various individuals who would like to reach out. And really they're welcome to view the center and utilize it.
Okay. In the same vein, I would like to then ask, is there a membership option? If yes, what are the requirements and cost implications, if any?
I would like to take that question on from the perspective of partnerships.
Okay.
So within the center and by extension the HTTPS building, we're very deliberate on engaging various industry partners. We're very intentional on engaging the startup ecosystem as well. We're very intentional on also engaging the regulatory bodies as well as then the various industry players and the vocational institutions as well. So we're covering all these different entities and we're partnering up and really availing various resources within the HTTPS and the Innovation Center. So from a membership perspective, there's no specific membership that you pay or anything to access the center, but really we're driven by the partnerships that we formulate. And through these partnerships, there's a channel through which various initiatives are then allowed to be anchored within the Innovation Center. Just to give an example, we, a couple of months ago, signed an agreement with the World Food Programme. And through that agreement, we're really availing our services, we're availing our resources, items like the Innovation Center itself. The World Food Programme is able to use these facilities together, for example, with UNICEF as well, and those entities are usually big on running initiatives around coding boot camps and really around facilitating initiatives for marginalized communities. But through those partnerships, the center is then open to them to open the space to those individuals that they engage with. So membership, no, but partnership, yes.
Okay. Evolving industrial revolutions that we're flowing in and out of, and the youth definitely are that future. Are there any activities that as MTC you are busy with along with your stakeholders for the center that you're involved in that is looking at bringing in the Namibian school child into the center?
Yes, definitely. Through the various partnerships that we have initiated, we have opened up channels where we're able to run programs around coding for girls. We're able to run programs and various boot camps and hackathons to reach out to the marginalized communities. Speaking towards a virtual element as well, we're able to reach out to marginalized communities as well in their community and really avail some of the resources from this space to them. From a schooling perspective, we're also looking at e-learning technologies. So really our partnerships are really very much intentional to drive the Namibian agenda. Yes.
Okay. Away from the general now we get into the nitty-gritties of the center, and we would like to then find out from you. If you can, please kindly share with us the general organogram of the center and where these employees are being sourced from and the type of skill set that are required from them.
Okay, that's a good question. Primarily, we are utilizing MTC resources. So within our internal structures already, we have employees that work within the center as well. We have, for example, I mentioned the mobile home downstairs where these employees are also involved in terms of the administration of the center as well. Apart from that, very key is our partnership with NUST through the Directorate of Research, Innovation and Partnerships. We then also have dedicated staff that are able to provide administrative assistance, whether from a startup perspective, whether from an entrepreneurial startup perspective, whether from an industry perspective. So those are elements that are currently there. From a skills perspective, in terms of technology, we have software developers specifically within MTC that are also utilizing the space and within that particular area, and those are the resources that we really avail to various industry partners. So currently there are no particular vacancies or anything in that regard because we already have, through our internal structures and partnerships, really housed or provided a relevant skill set within the Innovation Center.
Okay, but is there consideration for expansion and maybe creation of more positions that would require vacancies from the outside or from outside the MTC structure?
I think going forward, depending on the need and as we really scope how things are going, those are channels that can be opened up, yes.
Okay.
However, one thing that's very critical to what we're doing at the Innovation Center is really also partnerships and also reaching out to various ecosystem players. So through those different relationships, yes, there will be opportunities that arise, even for the innovators themselves, to really onboard and utilize the center and approach MTC, whether it's from an idea perspective or whatever it is, or from a skills perspective. Those channels are definitely open, yes.
Okay, okay. As we say, it's an educational platform, and very much here we're talking about the Innovation Center that was launched. That's called the MTC Innovation Center, and we are looking at their standard operating procedures. The center was launched on the 13th of October 2022, and it's very much looking into enticing, improving, promoting anything that has to do with innovation, especially if we look at it from the technological sphere. Especially where the world is going to, we really need people to come on board and get involved. You can definitely add your voice to the conversation that we're having in studio right now. And we are streaming from our social media platforms. You can give us your comments or questions via these platforms. On Facebook, you can find us at the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, Republic of Namibia, pardon me. And on YouTube, our handle there is MICT Namibia. MICT Namibia, that's on YouTube. Facebook, Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, Republic of Namibia. You can definitely also give us a call in the studio. And our number here is 061, being the area code. The number is 400-397. 400-397. While we wait for you, oh yes, we have a caller on the line already. I like the enthusiasm of my nation. We've got any time on the line. Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm doing fine, and Madam Desire.
We are well. How would you like to contribute this afternoon?
All right, let me first extend my greetings to Mr. Likanda. Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for the insight that you've just, given to the nation, and you've opened my mind. Yeah, with the propoundings on the technology has taken place from both of you. I picked up some important elements within your propoundings, especially on the inclusivity. That raised some kind of questions here. As we look like it, Madam Desire indicated that we should move towards technology, right? And Mr. Likanda also indicated that they are taking technology to the public. But if we critically look on the challenge, technological challenge within the society, that's why now you're determining my question. How do we include all this with this technological challenge? The majority are affecting. Not everyone is technologically advantaged. How do we bring them into this inclusivity?
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Likando.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So there are quite a lot of initiatives and engagements we're having with various stakeholders. Technology is not just specific to MTC, it's specific to the government as well. It's specific to various regulatory bodies and different industry players. So we do understand that, yes, there's a need to drive a digitally inclusive nation. There's a need to drive digital skills. Those are elements that we need to look at from a grassroots perspective. So we have been in engagements also with the Parliamentary Standing Committee on ICT and Innovation as to how can we start leapfrogging in terms of technology, providing digital services. We've been having those engagements. We've been having engagements with various players within the regulatory space to look at what are the challenges for not just MTC, but other key players within the technological field to start driving our technology. And I think there's a common understanding and belief that, there's a need for smart partnerships to start formulating. And this is why it's key to our strategic agenda as well, to formulate those key strategic partnerships where we're able to tackle the very issues that prevent or inhibit technology adoption.
Yeah.
So through our partnership, for example, if you're talking about UNICEF or World Food Program, we're looking at what are the key challenges that these entities are experiencing, and how does MTC then come in to try to plug some of those gaps. So now we're talking about whereas we had disparate solutions, or where we had disparate technologies, where we had challenges in network access, how does MTC then come in to try to plug those gaps? So really there are a lot of stakeholder engagements currently happening, and also key partnerships formulated at addressing those key challenges. So I think we're on the right track on that, in that regard, to make technology something that is very much more inclusive from a stakeholder perspective.
Okay. So I hope, anytime, I do hope that Mr. Likando was able to answer your question. And yes, very much we need to find ways in which we can create a platform of accessibility. And also, as he said, there are the various activities that are being, taken out, rolled out to try and fill the gap, if I can call it that. When it comes to innovation, it's like creativity, basically. And on this, in this environment, it's creativity, but from another perspective. But it is all part of intellectual property that, is at play here. And we want to find out from you, what are the arrangements that have been put in place for the protection of intellectual property when it comes to the users of the center?
Yeah. So noting that MTC is a commercial entity as well, I think most of our engagements are governed by a certain set of practices which we embody within our organization. So first of all, elements like your non-disclosure agreements, that's the first rule of thumb before any engagement happens. Above and beyond that, we also have elements of your copywriting, trademarks. If we start an engagement and we see that, do you have these items checked? Do you have, let's do our NDA, but do you have your idea protected? And I think those are now key strengths of, for example, our BIPA, those entities. And ideally, we encourage for all the different ideators or innovators to really go through that process. We have a very strong focus as well on the startup ecosystem, and we have very good engagements with the Namibia Business Innovation Institute at NUST, and also the Startup Namibia as well, startup ecosystem. So these are entities that also play a role in trying to assist these different innovators in making sure that they really protect their ideas before any engagements actually happen with MTC. So we are very keen on ensuring that IP is protected, not just the innovators, but also MTC's IP. So those are the elements that we really expose to various individuals that reach out to us.
Okay. You alluded to the fact that, you take the innovator through the checks, whether they've protected their idea, whether their copyright is patented, it's signed up and patented, all of these things. But in the case where you have I'll call it a walk-in innovator, for lack of a better word, what do you do then as a center for this person to ensure that they are able to check these boxes? Yeah,
I think the question, it's still moving back to the initial answer. If we do see gaps in any of those areas, that's where we start consulting and bringing in the various entities that take care of those elements. Because I mentioned, yes, MTC is a commercial entity. So in that regard, we have to protect our intellectual property, also noting that we have to protect the intellectual property of the potential innovators that are out there. So the best thing to do there is really expose them to the right channels that will be able to handle those elements. And as I mentioned that as well, those are key partnerships and key relationships that us as MTC are also trying trying to inculcate within the Innovation Center. So we ensure that from ideation up till commercialization, that the startups or entrepreneurs or innovators are really protected.
Okay.
But that is the guidance that we provide to the various individuals that approach us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So currently, there is no option where this person can walk in and you guys take them through the process. For example, create a one-stop shop for them. We are not there yet?
No, we don't. The one-stop shop, not as yet, because we are focused on the, what do you call it, prototyping, ideation, moving on up till commercialization. However, there are a lot of engagements currently happening to bring in those elements. I mean, with partnerships with the NIPDB, for example, partnerships with Startup Namibia, and then also looking at the strengths of elements like, or entities like BIPA. Those are key people we need to bring into the ecosystem. Okay. But it is, as we continue going and we see the need, I think that's a critical element that will come into play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As we said, you can join us this afternoon within the conversation that we're having. We're looking at the MTC Innovation Center that was newly launched at mid-October, 13th of October, it's when it was launched. Please, you can give us a call in the studio. Our number here is 061, the area code 400-397, 400-397. You can also pose your questions through our social media platforms through which we are streaming. On Facebook, you can find us at Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, Republic of Namibia. And on YouTube, our handle there is MICT Namibia. We continue while we wait for you, and we would like to then find out from Mr. Likando, are there any mentorship programs at the center?
Oh, that's a very nice question. Very much recently, MTC launched MTC for Life initiative, where really we're providing opportunities to various creators out there, and people who have different ideas and initiatives they're currently running. And those are one of the programs that us as MTC are rolling out to make sure that we really guide all these different innovators that are out there. Yeah. What is critical to that conversation around mentorship is to really bring in the right skills. And when I talk about skills and bringing in the right skills, I'm referring to now the partnerships that we start to establish. Mentorship, I think we start looking at elements like incubation. How do you incubate ideas from early stage to get to a very to get ideators to a point where they're able to release their products, commercialize their products. So those are key relationships that we have formulated, and these relationships are centered around the startup ecosystem. So from a mentorship point of view, we have good relationships with the startup ecosystem, and this is where the mentoring comes in to help ideators really go from ideation to commercialization. One thing that we've noticed over the past is that innovators struggle in trying to craft their business cases and move from ideation to commercialization. And it's difficult to reach out to entities that are commercial, because the first thing a commercial entity wants to see is value proposition, and not necessarily labor so much in taking you throughout the rigorous process. So that is an element that we really have noticed, and that's why we're looking at entities like the startup ecosystem to really bring in that perspective and assist to mentor the innovators.
So you're filling up a gap in the society that we're having. That's great. It's very nice to know that something is being done to create gap fillers that would really go a long way to developing us as a nation. Since the launch, have you had any isolated activities?
So we have had activities within that space. At this point in time, whether they're in MTC specific, whether they're NAST specific, we do have activities happening there. I'd like to give an example of activities that are coming as well. The coding boot camps we're doing, also sessions around ideation within the e-learning space, and all those different activities. So we currently, it's a lot of work, and it's all about just planning to make sure that we really capture the gist of what we want to do from an innovation perspective. So those are elements that we're busy bringing in, and currently in various consultations with all the different innovators and the people that have reached out to us to see as to when we can avail the space for them to start utilizing and creating the different initiatives. But there are dedicated activities running in there, and some of them, you know, we need to just keep under wraps for a bit until we're at a point in time where we're able to divulge.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You're being secretive. Or is it you trying to entice our curiosity so that we do actually pop up at the Innovation Center and see what's happening? Which of the two is it?
I think it's both.
Okay. Okay, there you have it. Things are happening at the center. And as they said, you know, they're encouraging people to come on board, to come through, see what it is that they are busy with, what the center is all about. But there is one crucial question that I want to know. At this point in time, you're talking about having the MTC structure being utilized to do the administration running of the center and all else. The next question, I think, is how do you plan on promoting or using the center to help promote job creation?
Okay, that's a great question. Thank you. So we talk about job creation. I think we need to look at from a point of view of you have academics or graduates. We have the vocational students also. Yeah. And then you also have, I think, our general public and those who are currently unemployed and those who are currently working on different initiatives. So what is critical to that conversation is that the center really creates a space where we allow for that creative expression. Yeah. We create a conducive environment where various entities are able to come through and start creating solutions. Yeah. So what's critical to that then is the type of solutions that they're creating. Yeah. What are the employment opportunities that these innovations or business ideas are going to have? Yeah. And what is critical to us is to look at, we have a dire need of employment within the country. So ideally, we are really pegged towards a thematic focus where we're looking towards like digital technologies. So within the e-learning space, we're talking about employment, but we also acknowledge that we need to create a knowledge-based society as well. So we're talking about creating initiatives around e-learning, availing various massive open online courses for our general public to make use of. On top of that as well, we're looking at the space of, we're talking about cybersecurity. There's a big gap in the country. So from a skills perspective, what are the initiatives that we're currently doing around cybersecurity? We're also looking at just the general as well in terms of just general job opportunities that all these different entities can create. So ideally, MTC as an entity, we've created a platform. Yeah. We've created an ecosystem. We're looking towards making this a marketplace, right? So ideally, all the innovators that come through, it's very critical and very key that the initiatives that they work on should be sustainable. They should be able to create job opportunities. So those are elements we're currently looking at to make sure that the center is not just limited to just, it's a technological hub, but it's a center through which businesses will be created. You have the startup ecosystem. Jobs are created through that. We have the regulatory space. We're looking at cybersecurity skills. We're looking at the R&D aspects as well. So those are the opportunities within the center. And we really looked at critical technologies that we need to drive in order to drive the digital economy. And the next, I think from a skills perspective, we're going to be looking at how do we create opportunities for the software developers? How do we create opportunities for the vocational students and vocational orientated professionals out there as well? So those are elements that are really open, and we encourage a lot of open-minded individuals to come through and also really think big with us as MTC to start creating a knowledge-based economy and creating those opportunities for our general public.
Wow. Yeah. It's like a spider web with a single center, but multiple branching, strings. Well, we are nearing the end of our session for this afternoon, but Mr. Lekando, before I let you go, and this speaks into what Mr. Anytime, mentioned a bit earlier on, when are we likely to see the opening of, these type of innovation centers elsewhere in the country?
Okay, at this moment we are located within NUST. As I mentioned, there's a very big virtual element to it. So we do understand that, yes, there are locations out there where there's a gap and there's a need for these centers. However, through our extensive partner network, we're able to then apply ourselves in a virtual sense as well. For example, if we have World Food Program, who recently initiated a very good initiative in Ondera, for example, and they have created ICT lab there. So those are really elements or little pockets where we as MTC can extend from a virtual perspective, but also from a partnership perspective to really spruce up or boost up the capabilities within those different initiatives. And it really plays towards my comments on moving away from a siloed approach in how we do things. So we're looking at, okay, in various regions and various areas, we have key strengths, various industry players, various ecosystem players. So how do we partner up with them to make sure that we avail our center from a physical, yes, but virtual perspective to allow for innovation to happen. But ideally, from a physical perspective, we are centered at NUST for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have reached the end of our show for this afternoon. It was definitely refreshing to hear about what is happening, what is being done to fill up these gaps, as I'm saying, and also promote, an interest in us as a nation to really boost innovators and bring the innovations to light and find a central way that we can do this. Your closing remarks, if you have any?
Yeah. From my end, really, we are open to facilitating an ecosystem where entrepreneurs, where various industry players have a conducive environment to innovate and to build. And we extend this opportunity to various players out there to reach out to us, and really we can partner, we collaborate, and we really drive a digital economy. We drive innovation within Namibia, and that is very much key to our mandate as an organization. We need to drive innovation-led growth within the country. So we are open for collaboration and looking forward to see you at the Innovation Center.
Okay. No, I think I'll definitely, now that I have an idea of what the setup is, I think I would actually want to educate myself more about what the center is doing, literally. And we need to hold them accountable.
Yes,
I think we need to be, I'll be one of those that will be offering myself to hold you accountable. But thank you very much, Mr. Lekando, for availing yourself. As we said, that is Mr. Nawa Lekando. He is the head of digital strategy, transformation, and innovation at MTC. And this afternoon's topic, we were looking at MTC's Innovation Center, Standard Operating Procedures. From myself, I'd like to remind you to please join us tomorrow again at the same time, at the same place as always. From myself, Desire Kahia, and my production crew, it's bye-bye.